And again, both of these guys are seniors, and as we said, they've met several times over the years. While we're waiting here, Connor Bass from Yorkville finished third in this weight class, and in a fourth-place finisher was Dalton Coleman from Mount Zion, also more or less a southern school.
Yeah, Yorkville, again, won their regional. They beat Marmion in the individual regional, so they'll qualify for the sectionals on Tuesday. Their first-round opponent will be Washington, and the other part of that sectional will be Rock Island, who's ranked 9th in the state, against Sycamore, ranked 7th. And then those two winners actually meet in the quarterfinals, which is kind of a unique situation where they go through the two same teams from the sectional meet in the first round at the state.
Right.
And again, the dual part of it, I know you've had a lot of success with it. Again, I know you like both of them, but which one's your favorite, the individual part or the dual teams?
Well, I think they're two separate things. I mean, you can't beat this weekend down here at the individual tournament. But
that's the best of the best.
Right,
yes.
but at the same time, I think the dual tournament concept has done a lot for the state of Illinois in promoting wrestling within schools and to a lot of different kids that, quite frankly, wouldn't have some of the experiences if the state championship were awarded to the top individual tournament team. So I think the dual is really good for wrestling. I really wish that some of the same popularity would be there as there is for this, but I mean, this is such an event. It's just so hard to top.
Yeah, nice blast double there in order to get the 2 for Mays. He leads 2-0. Again, the reason I like the duels is, like you said, you can take an average boy who may never even get down here, definitely not a placer. He could be instrumental in you winning a duel. Maybe he doesn't even win his match, but he just goes out against a quality boy and just gives up the 3 for a decision. Or maybe he comes through and wrestles another average to good person and get you a big win in order to help you win the duel.
Right. As we have injury time here, you're right, and I think that's something I will tell you in all my years of coaching, and we're fortunate enough to have a lot of dual experience, and more often than not, it's not those superstars, it's not those top line kids that decide those matches. It really comes down to the I call them program kids.
Exactly.
And it's a kid that does a good job and holds a score tight, or on paper is a big underdog and doesn't get majored or doesn't get teched or pinned for that matter. And then you see some upsets. You spoke about Tuesday night. I always have referred to it as Upset Tuesday. It's if there's going to be upsets in the dual team tournament, many of them happen on Tuesdays. And that's because now you're wrestling down here. You got a lot of kids, not coincidentally, I should say, that their success that they have down here, and they have a lot of kids, and they're on those dual teams. And how do you get a state champion to get his head out of the clouds and be ready to wrestle Tuesday? Or the same opposite extreme, how do you get a kid who just lost down here in the state final match and didn't get his dream, and he's got to turn around and get ready to wrestle Tuesday? So it's a difficult thing for these coaches to do. Yeah, Mays has a 6-3 lead, looked awful impressive on his feet with 3 nice shots in order to score. Well, he's definitely coming in this match. I haven't seen these boys wrestle before, but with the scouting report, they've been close matches, and last week was a 2-1 match, and Mays is really looks like he's made a conscious effort here to really open up the score. It's been very aggressive so far. Again, getting back to the dual part of it. Oh, nice blast double right again for 2 more and puts him on his hip. And again, the scores table kind of hurts our vision as far as some of this. I don't think he got the near fall off of it. Off the dual part, how difficult is it to get your kids, I use the word excited, back up after a tough weekend down here to come out on Tuesday night and be able to perform again? Well, that's the key, and the problem is because you got about 3 or 4 different levels of kids you're dealing with. You got a kid that's riding sky high because he just won a state championship or just got his medal. You got kids that are on the opposite end of the spectrum that are crushed. You got kids that haven't wrestled in 3 weeks because they lost in the regional or the sectional or what have you. And you got kids that are, JV kids that you might use to bump weights around. Also, that's the challenge. You got about 4 different types of kids you got to get ready for Tuesday night. And, it's a full-time job. And that's why you'll see you can always tell down here, the coaches that have kids in the duels, I always kind of feel sorry for those when they're still alive because they don't celebrate much down here. They always got something else on their mind. We have a 1 point for Mascoutah, again, an illegal head snap or possibly grabbing the headgear for the boy from Cahokia, so now the score is 9-4. But again, Tuesday night at various locations will be our team sectionals.
And then Saturday over in Bloomington at 9 and 11 are the quarters for all three classes. 2 o'clock's the semis, and then 6 o'clock would be the championship matches.
Another takedown there. Boy, he's very quick.
Yep, he's putting on a nice show here for himself. Lavion Mays out of Mascoutah, and he leads 11-4. Again, he's going to cut him again. Seems to like to be on his feet quite a bit, and as of right now, he's done a tremendous job of getting in on some shots. Again, the coaches here, Chris Whalen coaches down at Cahokia, and Chris Lindsay is the coach over at Mascoutah. And like we've talked about, they're instrumental in helping that whole area bring their programs up to this level where now they're able to have boys in the state finals. We've already seen 5 or 6 kids from the South, and we're halfway through the weight classes.
Still a minute, just under a minute left here in the second period, and
Cahokia boys trying to slow him down by tying up so he can't shoot that blast double on him. Again, we go out of bounds, 42 seconds left, 11-5. Again, the IHSA does a great job of setting this up for you. Hopefully you appreciate you've been able to watch all weekend. No cost to you, every match, as far as they've streamed them to you, and now for the finals. And you can purchase a DVD through it. Just go to the IHSA website and click on some buttons there, and you'll be able to get to the DVD section if you'd like to get one of these. Get a chance to see the Grand March, the Jumbotron, all those different things that make this such a great evening of wrestling.
20 seconds left here in the second period. And,
keep the toes in if he can. He hasn't scored yet. Tried to drag him, didn't quite get it done. 11-5, 15 seconds left. Again, we'll go to in 7 seconds. We're going to go to the third period. Got to look at look at it from the Cahokia boys' point of view. He's 6 down. Really hasn't done real well yet. What do you do if you're his coach? What do you tell him in the last 2 minutes to try and get done?
No, he's got to get some success here, and you know, whatever he can do to get a quick takedown, and you know, he's got to get a couple reshot opportunities. He keeps trying to slide by, but he's given up too much ground on that. In order for a slide by to be effective, you got to have some, you know, force or penetration from your opponent.
I'm sure you, as all coaches, work on. If you're down 6, you got to have some type of throw, upper body thing where you're taking the boy directly to his back. Do you start working on that right away now in the third period, or you wait a little bit?
I mean, early in the third period, there would have been, you know, just to get an offensive, you know, point situation. You know, to get some momentum going, and now it's a different story. Now he's going to have to, you know, look for something big to try to pin and end the match. But much different match than we anticipated. Again, from what I heard last week, was a 2-1 match, and kind of a grudge match. Had seen each other several times. Usually, when you have that, you have more of a tight match, and you know. Mays really opened up today.
Boy, he's
right
been
from the
impressive with these shots he's been putting on. Keep the toes in. Nice job. Boy from Cahokia, Gantt tried to throw him, just was out of bounds as far as doing some things. And we're 13-6 with 50 seconds to go here in the third period.
Gantt's putting a little pressure on there now. He's going to try to drive in and get him off balance, set him up for a throw or something that he can trip to his back, fireman, something of that nature.
Like we said, got to try something here. Doesn't matter if you lose by 7 or 10 in this particular situation. We'll see what he's got here as far as a throw, something directly to his back. And the boy from Mascoutah, Mays, he just wants to make sure that doesn't happen. Maybe just keep shooting his double, getting in there low and tight so he can't be thrown.
Well, as a coach, you know, this is where you wish you could. Oh, nice duck. This is where you wish you had a radio and you really want to tell your guy, but you can't yell it out loud. You know, there's no need to be offensive here now. Just stay in block. You know, stay in a good position. Keep your elbows in. Don't give him any openings. I mean, that's really what you want to do. And Of course, you can't yell that from the corner because referees don't want to hear that.
No, they don't want to hear that word. Right away, that hand will come up for the stalling.
Well, he's done a nice job.
Yeah,
very good offensive show here by Mays, and he was quite impressive in winning the state championship.
So he'll be our state champion at 145 pounds. There's our first backflip of the night, and that's Lavion Mays representing Mascoutah High School. So we're going to take a break, give you some awards here in just a minute. We'll be back with our 152-pound match shortly.